Good day, I'm Samantha Allen and this is your GIS News for Friday, April 4. Government is staying true to its commitment to contain spending as it tries to get the country out of debt and grow the economy. In this fiscal year, the Ministry of Finance is projecting to spend less than it did last year on projects funded by the government, reducing the figure from $120 billion to $109.2 billion. It's part of the $539.3 billion budget tabled in the House of Representatives Thursday by Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips. The largest portion, $404.7 billion, is allocated to housekeeping expenses, such as paying off the public debt and wages. Capital or development obligations, meanwhile, gets $134.7 billion. In terms of sector breakdown, the Finance Ministry, which is responsible for debt servicing and public sector wages, gets the biggest chunk, $300.1 billion. Education, national security and health also command significant portions of the 2014-2015 budget. The Standing Finance Committee of Parliament will review the estimates of expenditure from April 8 to 10, and the Finance Minister will tell the country how it's to be funded when he opens the budget debate on April 17. Meanwhile, the Finance Minister is adamant that Jamaica will continue to maintain fiscal discipline by keeping expenditures in line with revenues.
We have to live within our means, but we have to at the same time maintain our commitments to protecting the most vulnerable, to continuing to repair our infrastructure and establishing the platform for continued growth.
But even with the scarcity of resources, Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller says government is doing all it can to assist the most vulnerable. She's appealing for patience throughout the period of economic transformation.
We'll stay the course, but we're keeping in front of us the most vulnerable and the poor. And I know the pain. I feel it every day. All I'm saying is that they were very good last financial year. They stuck with us, and I'm just asking them for a while longer. We don't know what it is going to be, but you know we do not have much fiscal space.
And the government is expressing confidence that Jamaica will pass the fourth quarterly test from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. The revelation came from Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips in an interview with GIS News.
We feel very positive. I feel very positive about the results of the quarter. As usual, we'll await the formal review process. We feel the same way for this quarter as we felt for all the previous quarters. So we're pretty confident.
To pass the fourth IMF test, the government has to meet all quantitative or monetary targets as well as the structural benchmarks for the January to March period. Dr. Phillips outlined some of the measures that had to be taken in order to meet the primary surplus money the government has left after paying the debt.
We made efforts to bring in all the revenues. The tax administration of Jamaica did all it could to get in the revenues. There were some capital revenues as well and other things.
So far, the IMF board has confirmed that Jamaica passed all three tests in June, September and December 2013. A full review of the January to March quarter is expected in a few weeks. 70 basic schools will be converted into infant departments and infant schools this financial year. While delivering the throne speech in Parliament Thursday, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen also announced other measures to improve the education sector.
The recruitment and deployment of 90 reading coaches in 495 primary level institutions. The training of 100 early childhood practitioners.
He said government would also be placing more emphasis on young people in the new financial year. Meanwhile, $4 billion will be spent to improve the living standard of vulnerable groups. The Jamaica Emergency Employment Program will move into high gear, focusing on community projects to provide employment, and the projects will continue to ensure that persons have access to housing solutions as well as potable water.
One such is the rehabilitation of 26 well sources, pumping stations, and reservoirs at a cost of $1.7 billion. Some 750,000 persons will benefit.
And finally, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen says the renewal of Telecoms and spectrum licenses to the country's two major telecommunications providers is expected to result in better information and communications technology (ICT) services. The Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining issued the licenses to telecoms firms Lime and Digicel this week. They should bring in revenues of $12.6 billion from investments by the two firms.
This is a significant development for the local telecom sector and another decisive move by the government to ensure that Jamaicans have access to a range of services, including broadband services.
Government has been on a path to broaden the telecoms landscape to improve local access, boost the country's e-readiness ratings, and increase global competitiveness. Since 2000, a total of 461 service provider and carrier licenses have been issued. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.